Have you ever had a night so quiet, so familiar, that it turned into something you could never have imagined? Something that rewrote the way you saw yourself, someone else? Or what love really means? My name is Claire Reynolds. I'm 43. 5 years ago, I finalized a painful divorce and moved into a quiet home on the edge of a sleepy Oregon town with my son Nathan. At first, the silence was unbearable. But over time it became a comfort, a soft lullaby that helped me forget the chaos I had left behind. Until that night. Started as a normal Tuesday. I had just finished a long shift at the gallery and curled into bed, the house soaked in darkness and stillness. The kind of silence that usually soothed me. But that night something about it felt different, heavy, like the calm before a storm. Then came a soft knock. I blinked awake, disoriented. My eyes adjusted to the darkness just as the door creaked open. "Mom!" The voice was low, uncertain, almost like it belonged to a stranger. But it wasn't. It was Nathan. He stood there in his gray t-shirt and pajama pants, tall and lean. His shoulders broader than I remembered. He wasn't a boy anymore. That realization came at me all at once, like I was seeing him for the first time. "I can't sleep," he murmured, eyes fixed on the floor. "Come here," I whispered, instinctively patting the space beside me. He hesitated, then walked in and settled beside me beneath the blanket. The mattress dipped under his weight. We lay there, inches apart. The room felt smaller, the air warmer, the silence denser. Nathan's body radiated heat. My breath caught in my throat. I turned my head away, trying to focus on the ceiling, on anything but how close he felt. I told myself it was nothing. Just comfort. Just a son seeking safety in his mother's presence. But then he spoke. "I don't know what's happening to me lately," he said, voice barely audible. "It's like, feel too much. And I don't know what to do with it." I placed a hand on his shoulder, a motherly gesture. Gentle, grounding. He turned toward me and wrapped his arms around me in a hug. But this time, it wasn't like when he was 10 and scared of thunder. His hold was stronger, more deliberate. His face rested near my neck, his breath warm on my skin, and my body reacted. My chest fluttered, my skin tingled. I told myself it was the confusion of the moment, the late hour, the loneliness, the ache for something, anything to make me feel alive again. But when he whispered, "Thank you for being here," I didn't know how to respond. He drifted off, his breath growing slow and steady. I didn't sleep. All night I lay there, staring at the ceiling, his arms still loosely draped across me. My heart thudded like a drum. Something had shifted. I couldn't say it aloud, not even to myself, but I knew it had. By morning, Nathan had gone, leaving only the indent in the mattress behind. I got up and made pancakes, trying to shake the feelings that had crept in. I told myself I'd imagined it all, that I was just tired, that nothing had happened. But when Nathan walked into the kitchen, rubbing the sleep from his eyes and muttering, "Morning," everything came rushing back. He looked at me differently. Not with malice, not with lust, but with curiosity, with something unreadable. I pretended not to notice as I flipped the pancakes, but I could feel his gaze tracing my movements. I could feel the energy still hanging in the room. His eyes weren't just glancing, they were studying. And it wasn't just me. Nathan seemed different too. Softer in some moments, more distant in others. Like he was trying to figure something out that neither of us had the language for. We sat across from each other at breakfast, barely speaking. But every second felt loud. That night, as I lay in bed again, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming. My emotions twisted in knots. Shame, confusion, curiosity, even fear. And then once again the door creaked open. Nathan stepped inside. This time he didn't speak. He didn't knock. He just looked at me. His face half lit by moonlight, half shadowed by doubt. "Sat up." "Nathan," I said, my voice barely more than breath. He stood still for a moment. Then, slowly he walked forward. My heart raced. And then he kissed me. It wasn't rough. It wasn't aggressive. It was gentle, intentional, full of emotion and yet completely wrong. Froze. My thoughts screamed, but my body, for one irrational second, didn't move. The shock held me still. Then I pulled away, breathless. "Nathan, no. Stop," I said, voice shaking. His eyes held pain. He stepped back, ashamed. "I'm sorry," he whispered, backing toward the door. I sat there, hand to my mouth, unable to speak. I didn't sleep again that night. The next day, I watched him from the kitchen. He moved carefully, like a boy walking over ice. I knew he was confused. I was too. I wanted to go back to when things were simpler. When my role was clear. When I could just be a mom and not this tangled, emotional mess of a woman who felt too much and couldn't explain why. He barely looked at me during breakfast. But I felt his eyes when I wasn't looking. Later that day, I sat alone on the porch, staring out at the garden. The air was warm still. My thoughts were not. I tried to piece it all together. What he felt, what I felt, why I hadn't stopped him the moment he leaned in. I wondered if it was loneliness that had opened the door that night, or something deeper, something darker, something I wasn't ready to face. But deep inside, beneath all the layers of confusion and guilt, I knew one thing. That moment changed something between us. And I don't know if we can ever go back. Maybe we weren't meant to. Maybe the silence in this house wasn't just silence. Maybe it had always been the space where unsaid things lived. Now those things had a voice. And neither of us knew how to quiet them.